I woke up this morning and I thought, why haven't I done a Porsche video in such a long time? So today, let's do a Porsche video. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday morning. It's Wednesday morning in London. Very cold day here in London again, very cloudy. But in 3 days, I will be in Singapore. So back to, I think it's 31, 32 degrees in Singapore. God knows what the temperature is in Australia, because then I'm back to Australia after that. So I was thinking the other day, I want to do a Porsche video, and what can I do it on? And I thought, what's something that I do every day? And what I do every day when I wake up in the morning, and I have my coffee, I'm sure like most of you, I read the newspaper online or in print, but I read it online. I read the newspaper, I scour the internet, and I look at cars for sale. I look at Porsches for sale. And I look for Porsches for sale on car sales and independent dealers in Australia. Plus I look at cars for sale on Auto Trader in UK. Now that doesn't mean I'm in the market for buying a new car or I'm about to sell my Porsche 911, my 997.1. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link here. I'm not selling the car, but I always like to know what's out there, and I always like to plan ahead for my next purchase. As you know, I like to get a GT3. I'd like to get a 997.2 GTS, or if money was no object, I'd probably get a GT3 RS. I still like to get an 88, 89 Carrera 3.2. Years and years ago, I know I've said this before, I missed out on many that used to come up in Australia for very, very low money, 30,000 I think. I don't even want to think about it now. You know what it's like, you know what's happened to the market. Anyway, so if you had unlimited funds, is there a one-stop shop that you can go and purchase a Porsche collection? Well, I saw this originally on Porsche Forums Australia, where someone pointed to Classic Throttle Shop in Australia. Now, Classic Throttle Shop is in Sydney. It's just near the Harbour Bridge. If you're in Sydney, it's kind of underneath the railway there. It's been around for a long, long time. I haven't purchased any cars from there. I think I've been there once, many, many years ago. I might go there again in Sydney when I'm there, because they have some great cars on display. Maybe I can film some of them. But a one-stop Porsche collection. Can you just go to one place and get a one-stop Porsche collection? You know, looking at Classic Throttle Shop and looking at the cars they have at the moment, you could almost do it. You could almost do it. Let's take a look. So this is Classic Throttle Shop. This is their page. This has got all the cars they have. I mean, I'll send the link. I'll put the link down below so you can actually have a look at the website yourself. But at the moment, he has a lot of Porsches from 80, 90. He's got a 1969 911S. He's got a 1993 911 Carrera 4 Jubilee. He's got a 911 SC Targa. He's got a 911R, which is about 900,000 Australian dollars now. Which is, I think, when I purchased my car, Scuderia, I think, had one for close to $1 million. So they've gone down in price a little bit. It's still very, very expensive. So yeah, so let's take a look. So this is the site. So the first one-stop Porsche collection. So the first one, if you want something with a bit of heritage, racing heritage, they have a 1970 Porsche 911T, Australian touring car. I mean, I love this green. Viper green, of course. 5-speed manual, 3.5 litre, 41,000 miles. Now, these prices are showing up in, these prices are going to show up in British pound. Let me just change it to Australian dollars. I know that you guys will have to do a conversion, but let me just put them to Australian dollars so you can see the price of these cars. Now, this one I don't even think has a price. No, it doesn't have a price. Yeah, no price on this one. I mean, it's got the long history. I'm not going to read all that now. So that's the first one. Viper green, 5-speed manual, 3.5 litre, 41,000 miles, price on application. So this is it. I mean, I love the green. I really do like the green. I know the GT3 RS is GT3 RS 997, 997.2 and 997 GT3 RS in this green. Looks pretty amazing. So that's the first one. Second one. Let's go to the modern day. So we have a 2016 Porsche 911R. So the Porsche 911R, it's in GT Silver, which I think is probably the color to get in the 911R for me. 6-speed manual. This one only has 1,300 kilometers. It's still showing me the price in British pounds. It's just 534,000 British pounds. 534,000 British pounds. 800. So let's say 900,000 Australian dollars. So that's the second one. We all know about the 911R. I'm not going to get into the specs here. I'm just going to show you guys these cars. So this is the 911R. Car number 2 in your one-stop Porsche collection. So, you know, I don't know. I really like the GT Silver. Would you buy one? If you had 900,000 Australian dollars, 535,000 pounds, would you buy one? Probably yes. So that's the 911R. So let's go to the next one. Let's go back to the 60s. 1965 356C Cabriolet. In barley blue, 4-speed manual, 1.6 litre, 39,000 miles, 139,000 pounds, or Australian dollars, 235,000 Australian dollars. I don't know, is that expensive? I think that's quite expensive for a 356. I don't know much about 356s. Is that a very collectible one? It must be. It must be. I mean, let's just have a look at one of the photos here. I mean, it's in immaculate condition. I mean, it's obviously been restored, but it's in immaculate condition. It's not an everyday car. It's not a daily driver. It's a car that you take out, you know, a weekend, a month maybe. I don't think it's something you would drive all the time. So what's that? Car number 3. So car number 4 in our non-stop Porsche collection is a 2010 Porsche 997 Gen 2 GT3. This one I've been looking at actually because the price, it's 148,000 British pounds. In Australian dollars, it is, I think it's 270 because I've been looking at this one, 250,000 Australian dollars. Now, 250,000 Australian dollars for a Gen 2 GT3 is actually quite reasonable. It's quite reasonable. The thing is, this car only has it doesn't have the carbon fiber seats. I think that's the only issue with it that I found. I mean, I think in general I know you can buy the seats and it would probably cost you 15 grand to get some seats second hand. I mean, my friend has a white GT3. I really like it in white. See, it's got these seats. So the standard kind of seats, like this, almost the same as in my 997. I prefer the carbon back seats, the racing seats. It also doesn't, it's a touring as well, so it doesn't have the roll cage. I think if you want a GT3, I'd rather have the roll cage, especially in the 997.2. I mean, it's in good condition, and it's probably a really good buy, but for me, that's not the one because it's not in the right spec. Yeah, so that's another car in the to get your one-stop Porsche collection. This is all from Classic Throttle Shop in Sydney, you know what I mean? So he has a really good selection at the moment. Then we have a 1998 Porsche 993 Carrera Targa. This to me is not, it's not something that I would want. I'm not a big fan of the Targa. I think the 993 Targa is quite attractive though. I do like that bar that goes across the back of the rear. It's 180,000, say, Australian dollars. It's not bad. It's not bad. All these cars I think are all sold, all Australian cars sold by Scuderia Veloce here in Sydney in the 90s, this one. Yeah, I'm not going to show pictures of that. Let's just skip forward. Well, unless you want to see a picture, let's just have a look at a quick image. I think, like I said, the back of this, I really like the back. I like this bar. I like the Targa. You know, I wouldn't buy a Targa though, unless it's a 991 Targa, which I think are fantastic. I really like the 991 Targa, especially when it's all blacked out. I said I wouldn't buy another black car because they're so hard to look after, but the black on black Targa with the black aluminium change to black on the pillar looks amazing. Okay, so the next car, we've got a 1993 Porsche 964 Turbo 3.6. So this is pretty nice. This is midnight blue. I quite like the midnight blue. 5-speed manual, 3.6 litre, 98,000 miles, so it's quite heavy on the miles. 297,000 pounds, and Australian dollars is quite a crazy amount. Almost 500. Let's just say 500,000 Australian dollars, which is about the price of the 964 Turbo. This one I think is in pretty good spec. I mean, like I said, it's got slightly higher miles, but it's so iconic. It's such a great car. I know these used to sell for a lot years ago, but now it's just gone crazy. I mean, $400,000. I'm not sure how quickly they sell, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I think Classic Throttle Shop is one of these dealers that has a lot of cars on consignment. I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of these cars are from one person. I know that another dealer in Sydney, the dealer that I bought my car from, he gets a lot of cars on consignment as well, and he has big collectors in Queensland and across Australia that buy these cars, hardly drive them, and then sell them off. Which is why he always has such a good collection. That's Scuderia Graziani, which I'll link below as well. Okay, so let's go to the next one. 1969 Porsche 911S. I think if you're starting a Porsche collection, you have to have a 911S from the late 60s. This is it. I quite like the color. Introduced in 1963. This is a Polo Red. They're calling the color Polo Red. I'm not familiar with the colors that this model was available in. 5-speed manual, 2 litre, 76,500 miles, 187,000 pounds. We knew it was going to be expensive because it is a 911S. Yeah, 315,000 Australian dollars. So this one is pretty special. This one is pretty special. If you're going to buy a classic, I mean, already we have a great collection. We have a great collection. There's no Carrera GTs in here. There's no Porsche Spiders, which you would probably want to add one of those if you were doing a Porsche collection. We haven't finished yet. There's more to come. So that's the 911S. I mean, it's lovely. It's lovely. You know. Okay. So the next car in our one-stop collection is a 1993 Porsche Carrera 4 Jubilee. I'm not really familiar with this car. The Jubilee, it says, was produced in a limited choice of exterior colors: Viola, Polar Silver, and Amethyst. The Jubilee 911 featured with a top-tier specification based on the 996 Carrera 4 with wide-body turbo-style front and rear guards, full leather interior, 4-wheel drive, airbags, air conditioning, and sunroof. Just 17 cars arrived in Australia, and this is one that's just become available. So they're pretty rare. So this is 120,000 pounds. This one, don't laugh, I think this one is reasonable. The price is quite reasonable. It's 200,000 Australian dollars. Let's take a look. Polaris Silver. Polaris Silver is like Arctic Silver, isn't it? No, Polaris Silver is like, it has the blue, the kind of blue tinge to the silver, doesn't it? Let me know. I think it is. I mean, this is pretty nice. This is pretty nice. I mean, already you could, you know, your collection is coming together. If you had cash to spend, you could do quite well here. Obviously, they put the prices in UK pounds and whatever because they will export the cars, I guess. Let's have a look at the engine. I mean, this is well cared for, well restored, or both. I mean, there's something nice about this, I have to say. I quite like the 964. Okay, so the next, we've still got 3 cars to go in our one-stop Porsche collection. This is all the Porsches that he has on the site at the moment. When I looked at the site quite recently, he didn't have that many. He also has, you know, Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Check out the site; it's actually quite good. So this is I've got 3 to go. 3 to go that I picked out. The next one is a 1985 Porsche 911 Carrera. Now, I would like one of these. I don't want the 1985 though, because it doesn't have the G50 gearbox. I want the G50, isn't it? G50? Yeah, yeah. So this one is pretty nice. 119,000 Australian, 119,000 pounds. Australian dollars, 200,000 Australian dollars. 200,000 Australian dollars is probably a little bit higher than normal. I think these, you're looking at about 150, 160, and I think you can get a G50 for about that price. I saw one recently come up, and I think it was in Guards Red as well. The 3.2 Carrera is great. I love the wing, love the wheels. I mean, even though you want a G50, you want the upgraded gearbox that was shared with the turbo, wasn't it? It was shared with the turbo, the one they changed from. Is this G15? There was the first gearbox called G15. G15 then G50? I think so. I think so. Let me know. I'm not quite sure. I mean, Guards Red is such a great color in this generation. I mean, it really is a great color in this generation. You know, but you need 200,000 Australian dollars to buy it. The interior, I think, is maybe been reupholstered. Yeah, it looks like it's been reupholstered, but that's okay. It's had some work done to it. It looks fantastic, actually. Okay, so 2 cars to go in our one-stop Porsche collection. 1982 Porsche 911 SC Targa. You should have a Targa in your collection. You should have, as I say, a Targa, not the one I showed you before, the 964. You should have a old 70s Targa in your collection, or 70s, late 70s, 80s. So this is Clifton White. Not really a big fan of this color. It's a bit yellow. 5-speed manual, 3-litre flat 6, 185,000 kilometers, 83,000 pounds, or 83,000 pounds is probably 150,000 Australian dollars. 140,000 Australian dollars. I think that's quite expensive for this car. I really do think that's quite expensive. I think the price is a little bit higher for this one. Once again, just show you a couple of photos, but you can take a look at the website. The 911 SC at the back. Always love the back. Love the glass. And this one has, I think, the original interior as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a good example. It's still got the old dealer sticker. John Newell was the Porsche dealer here in Australia. And this is the interior. I think it's tan with cloth. Sorry, my computer is slowing because I'm using Camtasia, this app that I use to record the screen. So sometimes it slows down. It's just get me back in focus. Yeah, so that's the interior. I mean, I love the fabric. I love the fabric. Okay, so the last car in our one-stop Porsche collection. I guess if you're coming to Australia at Christmas, you should take a visit to Classic Throttle Shop. You should go to, actually, if you're in Sydney, you should go to Scuderia Graziani in Woolloomooloo. You should go to Classic Throttle Shop, which is in North Sydney. If you're in Melbourne, you should go to RSR. And if you're in Melbourne, you should go to Weltmeister, is it? White, I don't know how to, I think it's Weltmeister. They're the main ones you should go and look at, apart from Porsche dealers, but, okay, so the next one, 1990 Porsche 911 Carrera 4. This one's been reduced, it's been for sale for quite some time. Coral red metallic, 5-speed manual, 3.4 litre, 162,000 kilometers, 86,000 pounds, or 86,140 maybe? 145,000 Australian dollars. This one is, what year is it? What year is it? 1990. 1990. I mean, I like the Carrera 4. If I was buying this, the 964 Carrera, I would prefer to have the Carrera 2. I know Autohouse Hamilton had one for sale. I think it's sold in a Carrera 2, I think in that kind of purpley grey colour. I mean, this is still a good example. The price, I think, is a little... I think they sell... I think the last one I saw that was in good condition sold for about 129,000 Australian dollars. The interior of this one is actually not right. I don't know. I don't know if that's original colour. Is that original leather seat colour? Maybe it is. I think it has the original radio and everything, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, I mean it's nice, but I would get the Carrera 2, and I would rather have it. I'm not really a big fan of the coral red. It's a bit pink. Okay, so that's it. That's the one-stop Porsche collection. So if you're in Australia, you could actually, you could quite easily, if you had an endless supply of money or investment money to invest in, you could get quite a good collection. Of course, it's missing some of the key cars that you want to get. It's missing a Carrera GT. It's missing the 918. It's missing the, it doesn't have a new GT3, it doesn't have an RS in there. I think it should have the 997.2 RS. I think that would be a good one to add to it. It doesn't have, what else doesn't it have? I mean, there's some, I mean, it's a personal choice, isn't it? If you're setting up a collection, a Porsche collection, it's what you really want. I mean, look at Magnus Walker, you know, he's got one from every year from the, is it 60s and 70s? I mean, from when the 911 was made. I mean, that's a good place to start, but you couldn't do that today unless you have a lot of money. But you know what? I mean, it's good to see sites like this because you see what the market is like with Porsche. You see what's out there. You know what? My 997, of course, 997.1, 997.2. I mean, they really haven't become in this realm at the moment. I mean, they're still in the early stages. Let's be honest. A Porsche needs to be, what, 20 years old before it becomes kind of more sought after. I think the 997 will be a sought after car. I think in general, whether the 1 or 2, I don't think the IMS issue will affect future values. Like I said, mine has a 2006, so it has the updated bearing. I wouldn't deter from buying a 997, but I noticed in Australia, there's a 2006 one that just came up this morning, and they won 106,000 Australian dollars. That's probably $15,000 more than I paid for mine, and it has the same amount of kilometers and the same options. So either that person is over optimistic or the prices are slightly on the rise. I'm not sure. 996s are still quite low, basic 996s. Of course, turbos, GT3, 996s are expensive. Yeah, but I mean, it's buying what you like. You don't buy it because it's collectible. That's how I see it. You don't buy it because, you know, it's going to be worth twice the money. You buy it because you like it. You buy it because you want to drive it. You buy it because it gives you that feeling every time you get into the car. If by chance that means it costs a lot of money and it's rare and you have the money to spend, well then that's the reason why you buy it. But you don't buy it just because it's worth a lot of money or because it's so rare. You buy it because that's the car you want. That's what you want to drive, and it gives you that feeling every time you sit in the car. I know I'm about to go back to Sydney in 1 week. Like I said, I leave here in a few days' time from London, Singapore for a few days, and Sydney. I can't wait to get back in the car. I can't wait to go for that first drive. As soon as I get back, I usually because it's been under a car cover, I give it a quick rinse, and then I jump in the car and I take it for a reasonably long ride early in the morning, normally the morning after, because I'm quite jet lagged when I get back. But yeah, just thought I'd share that with you today. I hope you found it interesting. If you'd like to see more of videos like this, please let me know. I'm still trying to think of something that we can do together. You guys and me, somehow, I don't know, make a video, if you're in Australia, go for a drive. If you're in London, you know, I've been thinking about going to Ace Cafe in London, but I never get around to it because I know they have a regular Porsche meeting there. Yeah, but I'm trying to think of new ideas, new ideas for content for the channel for the Porsche. If you have any ideas, let me know. But yeah, anyway, I think that's it for today. I've probably spoken enough and you're probably bored already. Thanks for watching. Next time, I'll do another video before I leave London. I leave London it's Wednesday now, I leave London early Saturday morning. So I'll do one more video before I leave London, I think. But until next time, thanks for watching. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It helps me. Thanks again. Bye.